Hello, John. And I am with a lady called Rhea. Funnily enough, it's not the Rhea, the other Rhea. It's another Rhea. And Rhea lives in Guangzhou, which is just over the border. How far away? Because you're going soon, and you're gonna go by ferry or by train.
I'm gonna go back by train. It's about 2 hours by train, and it's about the same by ferry. But the ferry is on the water and very relaxing.
Okay. How long have you been in Guangzhou?
Since August of 2014.
Why did you? Yeah, very different accent, yeah. John's met the other Rhea.
Oh, okay.
He's making jokes, comparisons. Where are you from?
I'm from, I saw that too. I'm from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. It's the heart of the country.
I've heard of Manitoba.
Yeah.
And Vancouver, which is more famous.
Oh, yeah, much more famous.
Yeah. Hi, morning, Jonathan. Jonathan's Pels of Pels here.
Hi.
He's at the moment he's in New Jersey.
Okay.
So Rhea's visiting for the day, and she's checking out. She's also a teacher, funnily enough, aren't you?
Yes, it is pretty funny, and thank you for the welcome. But yes, hi, Australia. I'm a teacher of English. I don't want to get too boastful. I don't have an ed degree. Can't lie. This is broadcast, so.
Sure.
I enjoy it though.
Oh, sorry, much. Massachusetts. Okay. Hello, Holland. What's special about Manitoba? I've never heard of Manitoba. Well, I have heard of it, but I've never heard of anything significant from Manitoba.
We grow a lot of wheat. The Winnipeg Jets come from Manitoba. It's the land of, well, it means muddy waters, which is, there's two main rivers that meet and intersect in Winnipeg, the Assiniboine and the Red Rivers, and they were used as trading locations for the First Nations peoples for hundreds and probably thousands of years. And then once the settlers, the Europeans came, it was also a trading zone. Because we're quite landlocked, so the rivers were passageways for things. And also, because it's very flat, trains used to bring a lot of cargo through, so we were quite rich until the crash.
Okay. John, we met online. How long would you like to stay in China, says Streetscope. And what brought you to China?
I would like to come back to China. I'm actually leaving after this contract is over in July. What brought me here was a friend got a job in Guangzhou. I actually was thinking of teaching in Asia. China wasn't my first option, but I'm actually really happy that I had the opportunity. So I've been here for 2 years.
And why? Why would you set up shop in a scary communist dictatorship that sponsors capitalism?
Because it's a scary communist dictatorship that sponsors capitalism.
Seriously?
How? Well, I mean, it's so much like.
I'm being dramatic, John.
It's so much it's.
I mean, why would you not want to check Facebook? Why would you not want to check your Twitter? Why restrict yourself?
Okay, now this is sort of an interesting, it's going to be a long-winded question, because I have a VPN and I have not really suffered the effects of that. But I suffer it sometimes, and so then I find myself getting very frustrated. But I realized that if I was in a more remote area rather than a large city surrounded by so many foreigners, I think it would have changed my experience a lot.
Jonathan was asking, but I'm trying to figure out what John said now. Jonathan said, have you learned any Chinese?
I have.
You learned Mandarin?
Yeah, very little bit.
Mandarin, which they don't speak. Well, they do speak it here, but it's not the official, it's not the first language in Hong Kong. So if you're new, they speak Cantonese here, but they also speak Cantonese where you are.
Yeah, they say Guangzhou Hua, which is Cantonese, and Guangdong has some dialects as well.
Because Hong Kong and Guangzhou are in the Guangdong region, so they speak both Mandarin and mainland Chinese, mainland Chinese is Mandarin, and then they speak Cantonese as well. Even though they're trying to stamp it out, they're trying to downplay Cantonese because they want to establish Mandarin. We're both English teachers, but Rhea is visiting.
Yeah, I think there is definitely the feeling that the stamp out is happening. I shouldn't be an official in the matter. But yes, I mean, children learn Mandarin, but I know that there's a lot of for instance, just at this school, there's one of the children that I teach, her mother was lamenting that her kid didn't learn English, which isn't true. She's one of the best in the class. But she was worried because she would come home, she said, all she's learned is Mandarin, no English. So I think there's also a very strong desire not to lose it in the Cantonese people, which I admire because, you know, it's like anywhere in the world where there's a small population, like the Catalan of, you know, in Spain, and then, you know, Quebec in Canada, this strong sort of underdog.
Right. John asked something positive. I think you said, what did you experience in mainland China? What's a positive thing that you've experienced?
I love to see, and this might be true in Hong Kong as well, but the public exercise and family time. You see generations from babies to grandparents together all the time, and there's a very obviously Chinese tradition is very rooted in family and what that represents. And I think coming from a Western place and a particular personal family that is more disjointed, it's really nice to see that.
Yeah, there's less sort of separation between the generations generally in Hong Kong or Japan or Thailand or Taiwan or mainland China.
Yeah.
Because old people, if they're hanging around kids in a park, you sort of like demonize them or make them out to be something, which they don't do. More family values, yeah.
Exactly.
What is your housing arrangements in China?
I'm very lucky. In my contract. I got an apartment which has...
Well, with the contract? With the school?
Contract,
oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's very nice. Kitchen, living room, and an extra room as well. So I had friends visiting twice over the last 2 years, and it's very... I feel very blessed, actually, for that.
Would you recommend going... would you recommend telling others to go to China to get a job? My questions are bigger.
Yeah.
Have you taught in other Asian countries? And
no, I have not.
Can you get any Western media imprint?
And I can. I just don't know. Oh, Western media imprint. Yes, there's a magazine called That's PRD, which I like to read a lot. It's a free magazine that's released in Guangzhou, and it has lots of happenings and events.
Do you cook?
And I do. I cook my own meals. I admittedly get very complacent, and I have been I'm just coming out of a phase of being super complacent, but I do try and support the not only just the Western restaurants. Like I try to go to the
Chinese restaurants,
places,
but they don't do the same Chinese food as they do in, say, America or Canada.
That's right, and I noticed
it's real Chinese food,
delicious.
whatever Chinese food is.
And there's always greens, which is important for me.
No, she's not a vegan. How does your salary compare to your home country?
Well, I don't know because I'm an ESL teacher here. I do like hot pot. Because I'm an ESL teacher here, I have never taught officially in Canada, but I think the salary is more there. But then there's taxes, so it's hard to say the way it balances out.
What's the tax rate in Canada? And you don't have to pay, do you?
If I declare non-residency, I don't have to pay, but when I go back, I usually file every year diligently, but it's been a couple of years, so I'm gonna have to pay probably.
I'm lucky. I don't have to pay.
That's nice.
John's asking, what is your social life like?
Oh, it's quite active.
What was active?
Active.
Swinging from the chandeliers with Pinot Noir.
That's right.
In your other hand.
Just like sideways.
This is Rhea's first time on Periscope, by the way. Just so you know, you're doing very well.
Well, thanks.
But you're not getting trolled either.
Oh yeah.
Not yet.
Let's see how I do with them.
Yeah. Well, I'll block
virtual
them.
punch to the face. Yeah. I. What was the question? Oh, my social life. I get around. In a healthy way.
Do you have Chinese friends?
I do. Yes. I find
that proves you're not a racist.
Towards Chinese people, anyway.
Yeah.
No, I do have Chinese friends. Some people who speak. The one woman who's teaching me Chinese, and then I try to really, ask how the Chinese staff are doing at the school, even ones I don't work with. I find it is very hard. There is a certain level at which I think there's communication barriers, and I don't think they're not ethnic. they're cultural. So it's hard to explain, but there's like this very sort of, we think this way and you think that way, and almost sometimes it's stated that way, and I sometimes find that sad and frustrating and want to break that down.
My friend has worked in Hong Kong for years. She is in childcare for a wealthy family, loves her job. Oh, okay.
That's good to know.
So she's Western. She works as a domestic helper of some kind. How do you find the price of living in China?
I would say it's really decent. I mean, I think I was just saying before, you can spend a lot of money there, but you can also be
Save.
very frugal. Yeah. And I mean, with the stuff like the outside, like 2 weekends ago, I went for a walk on a Saturday night with my friend Jane, and we just joined these free, Latin dancing classes. Where else in the world is that going to happen?
Free Latin dance.
Yeah, it was like there was the Chinese traditional dance, and then there was this Latin dance, and then if you go further, there's the aerobic dance.
Where did you go, Irish? And how does it work? To the other person who was talking about the Western maid, I think it was CCC. How does that work? Is your area safe?
Oh, my area, yes, very safe, and that's another.
Are there any other jobs for expats in China? Shenzhen, yeah, Shenzhen.
Absolutely, and Guangzhou.
Shenzhen.
I work in a state called Clifford. Shenzhen, yes, it's very booming.
No Guangdong Wapanyo. No Chinese. What kind?
我不知道，我不看。
You can read that.
Yeah, well,
Check
I
you
can't
out.
read. I can't read the characters. I know how to say 我不看, which means I can't see. I can't read.
Oh, okay. He just keeps talking to us in Chinese. Shenzhen.
对不起，我们不知道。
Is Shenzhen more expensive than Guangzhou?
Shenzhen, they're probably equivalent. It's very easy to get from place to place. I haven't spent a lot of time in Shenzhen though, but they're comparable, I think.
Okay, CCC. Okay, thanks, John. There you go.
I like the really young ones, so that's good to know.
The really young what?
Young children and babies, I like that age.
Okay.
So that could be a good potential job.
I know your age now, but before going to China, how much was it on the cards? Like, was it something that was like a long-term plan? It was just like, oh, next year I'm going to work in China. And have you been to Beijing?
I have. I
Okay.
finally went over Christmas, and I'm very happy I did. We walked along the Mutianyu portion of the Great Wall, and I thought, who needs, that touristy stuff? But it was spectacular. So.
I'm going to hold my question. John said, what other jobs are there for people who are expats?
There's a lot of business in Guangzhou if you do any sort of business, manufacturing, or I don't know if that's your thing, but I know those are the largely what's the word?
The most predominant jobs?
Yeah, because it's a port city.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of international business that happens.
Rhea doesn't have an English major.
And no, I hadn't visited before I went there.
And where have you visited? We were catching up on all your questions. We're doing well.
We're trying.
And where have you visited in China besides Beijing, Shenzhen, Guangzhou, and Hong Kong?
So the same year that I moved, my cousin and her husband, he got a job up in Hubei province, in Wuhan. So I went to visit them 2 Christmases in a row. So 2014 and then last year.
Right.
I stayed a week with them the first time until New Year, which is my cousin's birthday, so I thought I might as well stay. And then this time I was on my way to Beijing. So we took the train, and then the overnight train to Beijing, and then I fast trained back, bullet trained.
And so back to my question, how much was it, how much planning did you put into going into China before you went?
It's quite an ordeal because of all the visa stuff, and I had to take the course teaching English to young.
Yeah, Jupiter, follow John Ho. He's a Hong Kong scoper. We meet up together. We're both Hong Kong scopers, but obviously he speaks Chinese. Luke is asking about the air pollution.
Yes, it is there.
It is that
Yes, air pollution.
you saw my mask and you actually want to get one of my masks.
Yes, because it's definitely, you can feel it.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Oh my goodness.
Everyone loves that question. I see
feel
myself
like
in
this
Hong
is
Kong, by the way.
Yeah, this is an interview or a speed dating question.
Which one do you want it to be, Irish?
Hopefully-
Speed dating or interview? You remember, there's a chance here of something special happening. Why do you look like a poisonous? Wow. Look at that. There's your first troll comment.
You can answer that.
That's a good way to deal with the troll. Right. What poisonous raccoon? Are there such thing as poisonous raccoons?
Poisonous raccoon. This is perfect. This is my new name. Thank you, poisonous raccoon commenter. You just gave me a new nickname.
It was kind of like polite troll. It wasn't totally insulting, or there was no swear words. They didn't need to stoop that low, but you didn't get blocked. Not yet, anyway.
I was thinking China. Oh, that's a very good question.
You sing the national anthem every day, don't you?
Oh, on
Before you go to
Mondays,
bed.
and I love the national anthem compared with the Canadian one. I'm just talking music here, folks.
Are you being serious?
I'm so serious. Canadians' national anthem is very sweet. I'm not gonna knock it. I come from there, and I've actually been much more. I'm much more. I want to say patriotic, but that's not really the word. I love the Chinese national anthem.
When you go back to Canada, do you feel like you're going to export some of that communism and spread it to your friends in Canada and explain the value of the benefits of communism?
No, because it's more capitalist than communist. I think that question that just went by, I
can catch it. I can catch it. Do you feel salary is really low there?
I would say no in the job I have. I've heard you have to be careful, but when you get a deal like I do, which is sort of paid summers, paid Chinese holiday, an apartment, and we get another portion, a USD portion, sent home. That's pretty incredible. Like, I am very grateful.
They pay for your flights to go back home?
And the flights, yeah. You don't get them up front. You get them first paycheck and then in April, but it works out.
What's the dating scene like in China for you? Oh,
Wow.
Really?
I mean,
there isn't like an army of Chinese men trying to get some Western lady
there are a lot of like
with the finger.
But it's
What's that mean?
Like a lot of well, that
That's
I don't
like
know what
Stewie Griffin. You remember when he does that and talks his head in Family Guy?
It's true.
What do you think about them changing the Canadian anthem?
Oh, I don't know if we should change it anytime soon. I shouldn't say grandiose statements
Buhao
like
means
that.
booyao. Booyao means no.
Yeah. Booyao means I don't want.
Oh, sorry, I don't want.
Buhao means Buhao means not good. Not good.
And so, what is the dating scene like? Do you have your pick of the litter? Can you just pluck and mesmerize a Chinese man? Oh my God!
That's what I'm saying. I get a
Guaipo.
lot of exactly. Oh, she's so white. How beautiful.
I don't understand this
there's
question.
Nothing.
Yeah, so go on. So yeah, you're white, beautiful. What do they want?
That's where it ends. It's like, oh, hello.
They're not. You're not interested. They're not interested.
It just ends. Like there's no, there's like, I don't know.
Are you interested in Chinese?
Yeah, I have found a few of them attractive, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's not. It just doesn't happen like that. It just.
Oh,
Maybe because I'm a top.
using 4G LTE.
So many hearts.
We met online. There is no chemistry.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, that's just on the very. I mean, I really do find if I wanted to go for something. What happened? What do we miss?
No, I had a frown and I wanted to turn it upside down. So, just
Tinder again?
No.
Never been on Tinder, so.
never been on Tinder in China.
I actually studied
I'm not an
theater.
actor, I'm a performer.
Oh, you? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we're both in Hong Kong. I live here and Ray is visiting. What's your favourite parts of Hong Kong? It's not the tourist parts, by the way, so we're going to get a different answer.
Well, so last year, the earlier Periscope that I had the fortune of being along for with Jonathan, we just did at the, now I'm going to forget the name.
We went to the Wong Tai Sin Temple,
Thank you.
the biggest temple in Hong Kong.
Yeah. So I went to that last year at Chinese New Year, on the Chinese New Year's Eve with my friend and her Chinese friend. So we got sort of the insider scoop. I felt like the proper behavior of how to go through the temple. And then when we went back this time, it was cool to see it. But at that same trip during Chinese New Year, I met up with a friend that I know from Winnipeg who's from Hong Kong, from Mong Kok, and she gave me a tour of Mong Kok area by foot, and everything was pretty much closed because it was Chinese New Year. Okay. And we were walking, and the streets were dead, but it was really cool. I got to see her her old kindergarten. Like And I knew this girl very vaguely. She's a really good swing dancer. So she was a swing leader for some of the, when I used to, pretend to be a swing dancer. And she said, I'm coming to China, come to visit. And it was great. I sure can talk. Chatty Cathy.
It's good for Periscope.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Rhea? RH. I spelt it wrong.
Oh, did you?
I spelt it
Yeah, it's
the other way.
RHEA. Yeah.
Do you feel good out there? Do you feel
Here,
good in China?
now?
In China or in Hong Kong?
Yes and no. Like, I find China kind of conjures this, like, I want to leave last year.
All of it.
And then the next day is, I want to stay for 10 years. So, I don't think you can be apathetic about China. Square dancing. I sometimes have done contra dancing, but I'm not an expert in any of them.
That's a good question.
Why not teaching?
Why not teacher in Hong Kong?
That is, let's
It's on the cards.
pause that one.
Possibly.
Yeah, that is because I've said that for the last 2 years since I came here. I thought I like it so much better.
Teaching is easier in Hong Kong, and we were talking. I'm British, Canadian, and she's Canadian. You get paid more in Hong Kong. It seems easier judging. I'm not going to tell you what Rhea earns, but I get paid more for what it looks like a lot easier work, and it's more westernized as well, so you can feel more at home. And there's probably more. No, you said there's a lot of Westerners in Guangzhou.
Yeah.
They're still kind of like international.
Yes,
I guess that's because it's relatively near to Hong Kong, maybe.
that's right. But what I noticed, and I think the distinction,
It is.
that's what I've heard just now. Today I learned this, and it made me happy to hear. Because I was concerned with leveling out the quality of life overall, just like cost of living versus salary. But speaking to Jonathan, it sounds like firsthand that is manageable.
Well, the fact that I get paid more offsets the cost of living, but you get your apartment for free.
Yeah.
But you're saying it's more attractive to probably be here than it is in Guangzhou.
Yeah, and I was answering another question I don't remember. I apologize. So if that question is a loose end,
Was it a recent question? I can go back in
Yeah,
time
I
a little
know.
bit. Cost of living is higher. Hello, and surely the salary is better. We did that
I
one.
think it was just before.
No.
Okay.
Foreigners teach Chinese will be more attractive. Yeah.
Oh, like if I were to teach.
More marketable.
Yeah.
To teach Chinese, yeah.
Yeah, if I knew Chinese, but it's a very difficult language to learn. Just because in day-to-day practice, I think people are scared to make mistakes in English. So getting that.
Yeah,
back
you,
sort of,
you do find that amongst Chinese people, like, and they'll actually have this, like, someone explained it to me once, I can't remember who, but there's this, like, modesty amongst Chinese people. When you speak to them, they'll say, oh, my English is not good. And it's like, yeah, but you can speak in sentences, I can't speak your language.
Yeah.
So the fact that you can speak already doesn't matter if you make mistakes.
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong with your English.
Exactly.
Right? And the expectation is on you to learn. The expectation isn't on us to learn Chinese.
That's
So
exactly
we get a free pass. And the fact that you did that, you're under more pressure to learn that language. Well, that makes it actually you're just being modest, too modest,
Yes.
right? So
Yeah.
we should learn.
I feel the same way, and it's a safe. It's a. I don't want to say it's a false modesty. It's
There is
cultural, but well, that's what I was gonna say. It's about losing face, but I noticed that like I'll say something like "ni hao," and someone's like, "Oh, you're excellent at Chinese." And I'm saying the basics. Meanwhile, you just said you're excellent at Chinese. Oh, your Chinese is very good. I mean,
Yeah.
that took more effort than "ni hao." Although,
Yeah, you say one word and they'll praise you.
yeah, I thought of this the other day that Chinese is a very hard language to
Thank you.
learn, easy
Irish.
language to fuck up.
What is the national language to fuck up?
Like Chinese is hard to learn, easy to fuck up, basically.
Oh, okay. Do you get homesick?
Yes.
Homesick.
Period. Yes.
Homesick means tasty in Cantonese. Yeah, this is guy nodding off camera. Homesick. Okay. Yeah, you just say one word and people, it makes them smile.
Really. Yeah.
But oddly, we don't smile if they speak English so much.
Right.
We take it for granted because nearly everybody speaks English
Right.
everywhere around the world.
It's interesting though because before I came here, I had actually thought of. I think someone asked a long time ago if I taught in Asia, and no. But my first choices were Thailand and Korea, the typical cliche choices, of course. That was actually one of the reasons China became appealing. But I thought about the colonial aspects of it I feel like I have to say this, as this was part of why I waited till I was in my 30s and not in my 20s when I wanted to. But then I realized that in this climate we have with language and global, there's people going in and out of a lot of places, and so I thought if I come at it with my view, which is that languages are great and knowing them is pretty useful, then that's how I rectified it.
What's your favourite place to visit in Hong Kong?
Oh yeah, that might have been the one. So I like to go on foot and discover new areas. I don't think I have a favourite place. I really do like the mid-levels.
That's where the biggest, longest chain of escalators in the world are. Sometimes I scope it high. How do you think American genuine learn Korean language? I don't know. I'm Canadian but live in Malaysia. Hello there.
Oh, hi.
I don't understand your question about Americans learning Korean, because we're not in Korea.
No, and I think I said my choice was to go, but I have never been. I stayed a night in Incheon.
Have you visited the Buddha?
No, I just talked about that today. Haven't been yet to Nanping.
Yeah, but do you want to go and visit the Buddha?
I do want to go. I do and I don't. I'm like Larry David.
Who's Larry David?
Half in, half out. He's like the writer of Seinfeld, and he does a show called Curb Your Enthusiasm.
I've never watched Seinfeld.
He's like a really tall guy with white hair and a ponytail, and he's totally neurotic.
I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry, genuines. I don't know what you're talking about.
You like Larry David?
If you want to know about an American that lives in Korea, then follow Yo Pickles, because she's a periscoper and she lives in South Korea and she speaks, I think, Korean. Do you miss Timmy's?
I do not. But when I see it when I go home, I feel happy. It's a coffee place that's ridiculous.
Are you level-headed? Irish said you seem level-headed, but I'm not going to assume that. Are you level-headed?
I hope so. I do a lot of self-work.
Which
mentally.
word did I say wrong?
I hope so. Genuines?
Genuines? Wholesake? Which one? Thanks for telling me the word. It's like a Scrabble game now. Word search. We've got to search for this word. You referenced it, but you didn't tell us.
So.
We're waiting on you. Genuine smile.
Okay, me?
I think so. Most of these people know me anyway.
Thank you.
So they know whether I'm faking it or not.
I hope I'm genuine. I try. I mean, I can't change it, so. Some people think I look like a poisonous raccoon, so. I mean, I'm glad to you it looks genuine.
Genius. I'm a good judge of character.
Okay.
Go.
That's good.
Well, I'm only going to try and bring the most level-headed of people that I know onto my Periscope channel anyway.
Perfect. So maybe the consensus is I could say yes.
Everyone's being good. It's because I can't do a limited broadcast, Jonathan, because only you, Luke, and John would be able to comment. So I just opened it up and just let it rip and see what happens. But everyone is behaving. Maybe it's a great time of the day to scope where you've got like 10 people and everyone's being civil. If you go over 60, if you go over the 60 rule, then you get idiots.
Okay.
60 people in the chat. How do you think American genius learn Korean language? That sentence makes no sense. You need to speak to Yo Pickles on Periscope. She is in Korea. She's learning Korean.
And
she's an American.
And I'm Canadian, not American.
That's racist. She's Canadian. I'm only joking about the soft racism. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, my mom's family came via, from the UK via Massachusetts.
Did you answer my question about how much time and prep did you put into coming here?
Oh, right. I started answering it. I think that's the mystery question I was trying. So, yes, it's a lot of work, and I took that course, the Teaching English to Young Learners course, which was a dedicated thing to do. But overall, pretty much from hiring was March, and I got there in August, so not an intense amount. It's intense, but not impossible.
What's the paperwork like upon entering
oh my goodness.
A country that's bigger than the United States of America?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Just these tiny little pieces, everything. Stamp it. Like, I swear it's flimsy. I swear because of the winter and then in the spring, and now it is muggy as all get out. these disintegrate, but the papers need to be stamped. And I just think, I mean, I'm glad it employs some people, but the paperwork is astounding. And from day to day, you could go to the bank one day and send a transfer, and the next day the person could not know what's going on. If you get a different person, I find it's very not unified in the way that customer service, as I know it, sorry for the air quotations, in North America, quite a different idea about that.
Did you get chaperoned when you first came around?
By the already established foreign teachers. We got helped sort of, but very loosely. It was really we were kind of on our own. There's the go-to people at the school that I work at are so busy trying to do things. That's how it feels anyway, that there's no time for the hospitality aspect. So that is one drawback, and I feel like I'm a people person, so I would rather live around and with people that are really
Morning, Kathy.
friendly and be socially engaged and aware and feel comfortable than I would want a fancy apartment. And I sort of have the opposite. People are friendly enough and they're always willing to take you around, and I have a little e-bike. I'm gonna miss that. And I also have a bike. I'm gonna miss that. But
I would like to point out that if you enter China, starting in Hong Kong, then you just fill out that tiny little piece of paper that you get on the international flight, and then that's it. You get a holiday visa. It's so much simpler.
that's a good idea.
We don't have that bureaucracy. There is paperwork, but you get more of it in mainland China. How do you cope with the massive queues at the Lo Wu border when coming into Hong Kong? She's going by ferry.
Yeah. Today it was actually not bad. Today it wasn't bad.
Are you going back to Canada soon? You are next month.
Yeah, going in July. But I don't want to not come back. I want to come back. That was a double negative. I would like to come back. Just maybe not in the same setup.
Right. There we go.
Now it's out there in the ether and on the internet. So
You had your fortune read today. If you didn't catch the scope, when we went to the Wong Tai Sin Temple, Rhea had some tickets. Yeah, I had to bribe the guards to skip through. Oh yeah?
how did you bribe them?
What did you give them as a bribe? But she had her fortune read, so if you're interested, you can check out the previous scope where her fortune was read. But you said you got those little chits of paper last year. Yeah? Did you think they would still be applicable this year?
Well, and I had forgotten actually. Like I knew what I was thinking about at that time of year last year, but I didn't remember. And thank goodness they're linked to a number. They know when you pick 58, which is what I picked, and then another number. I forget the other one. But 58 is what I do for career, and then I chose up something to think about. But then once he read it out, I remembered, and then it made sense to me. And then the stories were very applicable. I thought the reading was quite apt. So.
Okay, and it cost you for the two readings. If you watch the scope, there are two readings, $78, which is
high price. But I thought this is a once in a lifetime. I mean, it was kind of fun. It's not like the end of the world. But
it's about
I'd been wanting to
$10 US.
Yeah.
Just under $10 for the two readings.
So not bad.
I wonder how many people he gets a day to read fortunes.
He had a wall full of
Cheaper to bribe.
celebrities.
You paid $10 and Irish there paid 20 British pounds to get across the border.
Ooh, it sounds like I got the worst deal.
Yeah, but just around the corner are more fortune tellers, by the way.
Oh yeah.
On Temple Street.
Oh cool.
Yeah. Do you have any other questions? Otherwise, I'm gonna
Shut her down.
shut this down. It's nearly 6 o'clock. Thanks for scoping. No worries, CVC. I've got another scope chat on Tuesday with my Philippine friend Cacho. So if you're interested, stick around for that as well. Thanks. Well, it's scope chat. I don't like saying interview. It sounds too forced, too formal. No Guangdonghua. Good to meet you.
Good to meet you.
That's Jonathan.
Pels are pels. Jonathan.
Pelicans are
Good to meet you,
pelicans.
Oh,
What's your favourite food in Hong Kong?
Hong Kong. Oh my gosh. I really like those coconut drinks they make. Delicious.
What coconut drink?
It's like mango. There's too much sugar in it. You probably won't
okay.
eat it. It's really good.
No Chinese. Sorry, no Chinese. We don't speak it.
I went to a
you
really
do,
good
but-
vegetarian restaurant also that was super good near the ferry terminal.
That's a good question. Well, I've just thought of. If I don't mind saying so myself, I think it is a good question. Do they have a lot of vegetarian restaurants in Guangzhou?
I think they have more than I've just discovered, but yes, they do have some.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's easy for the vegan, or
Not easy for vegan because often when they say vegetarian, unless it's a specific place, like a lot of the temples out the back will have a restaurant that's all vegetarian. Like even they say meat, but it's tofu or plant-based.
okay.
Yeah, but some of the vegetarian options at restaurants, if you ask for no meat, they'll still cook it in the broth of meat. So you have to be, if you're a vegan,
Okay.
you really do have to make sure.
I've got some. We'll do a little quick fire. Actually, a little quick fire round. I've got some very common questions that scopers ask me,
Okay,
and I'm going to relay them to you.
alrighty.
Okay, so you can give me a yes or no.
Roll the shoulders.
Are you ready?
Okay.
Number one, do they eat dog in
Yes.
Guangzhou? Yes.
So I hear.
Is there a Starbucks?
Yes.
Is there a McDonald's?
Yes.
What time is it? I'm only joking. It's an in-joke. It's an
Wait a
in-joke.
minute.
Other quick
12
questions.
hours ahead of home.
Last question, do you find older Chinese people rude?
Yes.
They spit a lot, don't they?
Yes.
They spit all the time.
And push.
Yeah, if
And
you-
shout.
yeah.
And do this.
What's that?
lot
To
of
gain
that.
your attraction?
They
Gain
give
your
the
attention?
stink eye.
Oh, the stink eye, right.
And then go.
If you go on the map, the search function, sorry, or go on the map, and you go to Beijing, find Mike who tends to travel, and he's a Beijing periscoper. He's an American living in Beijing, and he talks a lot about what the culture is like. Why do you look like Moby? Yeah. Why do you look like Moby? No, that question's directed at me.
I know because I know Moby. Wait, that's an old album. This person is.
Right, okay. What's your I get all these similar questions, and oddly no one's asked you these very similar questions that I get asked.
Yeah, it is.
No one ever asked me that question.
There are libraries. There's the Guangzhou library is really cool. It's very neat architecturally. It's in Zhujiang New Town, which is along the Pearl River. There's some really interesting architectural things. There's the Guangzhou Opera House, which it looks like a spaceship that's about to take off. And I heard that the architect who built it is an Iranian woman who passed away.
Wow.
I think recently. She was only in her 60s, but it was cool to know that a foreign woman.
We had a famous architect who died, and she designed some buildings in Hong Kong.
Maybe that's what
I'm
who
wondering
it
if-
was.
but I didn't know she was Iranian.
Persian. I think she was
Oh, okay.
half. I think it may have been a situation where she was born there, or I understood she was Persian. I could be misremembering.
Indeed, spare me. No, because she's Canadian.
Wait, I can sort of like Trumpy.
Trumpy. You know they call a fart. They call it a trump in the UK. Did you know that?
I think I heard this meme. I think someone sent a meme like it was some sort of meme about that. I think.
Right, okay.
And now, or someone said they're never going to hear Trump in the same way now. He
Oh,
kind of
okay.
looks like a fart. I think. I said that to the girl. It's
Okay.
true. He does. Whatever a fart would look like, that's what it would look like.
I think it's I can't think of any other questions at the moment. So,
Thanks, guys, for letting me hang out.
good point, Irish. I think I've hit like a little sweet spot in when it comes to periscoping at a certain time of the day. Maybe all the trolls are in bed. Maybe they're all drunk. You're leaving today, aren't you? You're like
Yeah.
in an hour.
This evening, yeah.
Yeah, basically. Do they teach art, etc. in China?
They do. It's not in the ways often that I'm used to. And I taught drama for the first semester this year with some of the older kids at this main school. And the outcome wasn't what they wanted. But my BFA is in theater, and I grew up watching it because that's what my parents do. So they have a very different vision of what's expected and wanted.
That library you were talking about, do they have English books in there?
Yes, they do.
Right.
Yep, they have an English section that's quite good. My friend says.
And is every mention of the D word like Tipexed out? Democracy,
Oh, probably. I haven't
freedom,
actually-
the F word, the D and the F word, freedom, democracy is all scrubbed out.
I haven't gone. Maybe that's why I kind of want to do
Okay.
this.
Where can people find you if they want to hook up with you?
Facebook. Facebook. I don't have Twitter. I had Twitter. It's dormant. Facebook. Is that?
Well, I think Twitter's better than Facebook, but okay. So
Okay, I can give him my.
you add
my
randoms.
Twitter.
Okay. Here we go. Right, get the pen ready.
Maybe I.
You've got a bit of extra time.
It's at Rare Hoken. RAIREHOKEN.
That's your Twitter
Yeah.
and your Facebook.
It's from a show I did with a friend.
Yeah. Are you going to get Periscope?
Maybe I will.
Yeah.
Yeah. that'd be
You could
cool.
block the trolls yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Block them in the first person.
I can coon teeth them out, whatever. Be a poisonous. I think my Periscope name should be poisonous, right?
Okay. Well, if you get Periscope, tell me, and I'll tell everybody. Oh, do you remember that scope chat where there was like 10 people in the chat? Well, hopefully one of you 10 will be watching this on the replay, and here's our details, and then they'll follow you.
That would be excellent. Thank you. And it was nice
No,
to
obviously.
meet you all. Thanks for your questions.
There's a lot of regulars here, actually, more than I thought. Sometimes I wonder, why didn't you, like, Jonathan's here, and it's like, he gets up really early, so I understand, but some other Americans, I'm like, don't you ever go to bed? And they're like, clearly, they don't go to bed.
They don't sleep.
Or they're just
Me
getting
neither.
up. It is now 6, so
Yeah.
America is waking up.
I don't know what Periscope etiquette is, though. Like, I mean, I'm learning.
well,
But
I gave
I'm
you the
thanking everyone. Like, as if
Yeah,
this is an
no, you're doing it right.
Oscar
You're
speech.
thanking them. I'm giving them a chance to follow you up, giving you a shout out, and then we just say goodbye. You don't need
Thank you
mine.
to Jonathan also.
Yeah, thank you to me. One never went to sleep. Wow, spare me.
Wait.
You're gonna sleep yourself to an early grave.
I need to sleep too. I'm very tired.
Right.
Kind of late.
So I don't do a countdown or anything. I just say thanks for watching. Take care of yourself. And you know where you can follow me. Just type JonathanJK into anything on Periscope except for Snapchat. And I'll see you later. Okay?
Cheers.
Ciao for now.
Bye.
Bye bye. And then we wait a bit, because if you don't wait, it just cuts off your papa. So it goes papa. Okay? Latex and safe sex, indeed. I say that as well.
That's a clever one.